top story tonight. The protests by Gen Z appear to have begun bearing fruit after the Salaries and Remuneration Commission halted an upward review of salaries for state officers. Among those affected are members of parliament who were set for a salary increment, as well as governors and other state officers working in county government. Now, this move follows anger directed at the entire government and parliament that forced the executive to abandon the crucial, controversial but necessary Finance Bill 2024 that would have helped the government in its operations following the ongoing protest by the Gen Z. The entire government has been forced back to the drawing board after President William Ruto announced that all organs of government should brace for major budget cuts. Grace Nganga kicks off our broadcast tonight with that story.
One would question the timing of the move by SRC to increase salaries, with mounting pressure from the Gen Z to reduce the salaries of MPs from the current over 700,000 shillings to only 200,000 shillings. The plan from the pay rise for MPs and other state officials, including governors and other state officers, came on a day that anti-government protests had paralyzed the entire country. Currently, MPs earn a salary over 725,000 and they would have received an extra 14,000 shillings at the end of this month. Besides the salary, MPs also earn a sitting allowance of 7,500 per sitting, among others. But following the public anger, the move for the pay rise has now been stopped.
The staff of Parliament have to be honest with Kenyans. In the way the budgets of Parliament are prepared, there are ways and means of reducing the expenditure in this House in a manner that will reduce the burden on taxpayers.
Who has sent them to fuel discontent in the country at a time that this country is bleeding? How dare you publish salary increments for public and state officers at such a time as this?
Good people, we have been told that it's not possible, that members of parliament will never do it. We don't have an option. We must do it, Mr. Speaker.
But in a quick turn of events, the SRC has beaten a hasty retreat and froze the plan for the pay hike for MPs, governors, as well as other state officers. According to the chairperson of SRC, Lynn Mengich, the move is as a result of current realities of economy and budget cuts.
Therefore, in consultation with the National Treasury, SRC hereby freezes the upward review of salaries for all state officers and will review the advice for all other officers, taking into account the current realities of the economy, taking into account any contractual commitments and reduced budget.
When announcing the plan to withdraw Finance Bill 2024, President William Ruto put the entire government, including other organs such as Parliament and Judiciary, on notice, saying they should expect major budget cuts occasioned by reduced revenue. A statement released by Public Service Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria earlier Wednesday said he will not implement the pay rise, arguing that all institutions in public sectors need to make sacrifices as they expect other Kenyans to do. Coming hot on the heels of this are governors who also called for immediate withdrawal of the proposed salary increments for all county state officers, including them. The statement says, and I quote, "This is our noble duty as we collectively reflect on a prudent fiscal sustainability strategy for the country." The quick reactions rejecting the pay rise came on a day that President William Ruto, through his spokesperson Hussein Mohammed, directed the National Treasury to review the Gazette notice issued by SRC, saying the country should live within its means. Under the new structure, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Cabinet Secretaries, and the Attorney General were set for a pay rise of 33,000 shillings. Others who are to get this amount include the Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, and the Secretary to the Cabinet, Mercy Wanjau. On the other hand, Principal Secretaries and Inspector General of Police Jaffer Kome, National Intelligence Service Director General Nudin Haji were also set to get a salary rise of 27,325 shillings. Notably, only President William Ruto's 1.4 million shillings and his deputies Rigathi Gachagwa's 1.2 million shillings were to be retained. The National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and Senate Speaker Amason Kingi will have received a pay rise of 23,000 shillings. Grace Nganga, KT News, Nairobi.
Very interesting turn of events. Meanwhile, the senators